I just saw something literally 5 seconds ago, and it left me completely and no, it actually had nothing to do with the Diddler or Shrimpo. You know, I was on Google just looking to see what people care about Danny's World related. Because, you know, it's what I do. I love the game. I want to know what you guys want to know so I could tell you what you want to know. And one of the most popular questions is, who is the best Danny's World toon? The good news is for me, I've played this game for over like 50 plus hours, so I would know. Have I played as every toon? No. Have I seen every toon, though? Absolutely yes. Have I spent hundreds of hours watching Danny's World videos and live streams? Yes. What do you guys think I did for that 9 days whenever I got terminated? I was watching Danny's World videos. So today I'm going to tell you about the Danny's World videos. I'm also going to show you the worst tier list I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not kidding. This tier list is so freaking bad. It's hilariously bad. It's so, I'm telling you, like, they put Pebble in, like, below B tier. That's all you need. You can find out later where they put it's so bad. We're gonna bully these people. It's gonna be great. But first, before we can make fun of people together, just go ahead and make sure you unsubscribe. And when I say unsubscribe, I genuinely mean it. As you can see right here, the vast majority of people on this channel are returning viewers, which means a lot of you guys are subscribing. So how about you stop? If I get to 75,000 subscribers by the time this year ends, I'm gonna have to make these Danny's World bed sheets, my bed sheets for the entirety of 2025. I don't want to do that. I keep telling you guys I don't want to do that. Stop subscribing. Either way, let's rank toons. So obviously we're going to be tier listing every single toon, and I'm going to be telling you why I think that they belong there. And every time I show you where I put a toon, I'm going to show you where the other person put their toon on this terrible, terrible list. In case you're wondering who we're critiquing against, it's going to be Game Rant, which is actually an article that they made, which is a super popular website. So, they clearly were just trying to reach at straws here. It's so bad. Regardless, let's start with the newer toon, one that the Game Rant hasn't talked about. Gigi. Gigi is the newest toon that came into the game, who I haven't freaking seen their twisted version yet because it doesn't exist for me for some reason. And she's obviously clearly more of an extractor, a very, very solid extractor, whose ability lets her grant a random item from Dandy's shop, which is actually a really fun, cool ability, which a lot of people have been playing on recently. And overall, a fun toon to play, a fun toon to play against, as in twisted versions, and helpful for your team as well as a Clipto. And being a normal toon and costing 2,000 Iker, overall, it's someone you would like to see on your run, placing her in upper B tier. Moving on from that, we're just going to talk about Boxton. I don't think I really need to explain too much about Boxton. Boxton is one of the starting Danny's World toons that has just the most traditional stat line ever, whose one ability is called Wind Up, which I actually personally think is good, but a lot of people think sucks. Gives you an extra 60% extraction speed for every toon alive in the round. So basically on early floors, you're going to be doing machines 48% faster. Not great, not bad. People hate him. I think he's okay. It's just a C tier. Moving on from that, we have Brightney, who's probably the most situational toon in all of Danny's World. Brightney has a active ability, which means you affect it yourself, or you can use it yourself, but this toon can shine lights on twisted to make them visible during blackouts for 8 seconds, so just periodically good during blackouts. Other than that, she has the worst stealth in the entire game other than Shrimpo. Pretty bad in that regard, but she is going to be pretty good at moving around the map and avoiding those twists with her stamina and her movement speed being okay, and her extraction speed still decent. So her Achilles heel obviously is being her stealth, but overall she's still pretty decent and helpful for your team. Someone you don't mind having around at all, but still not someone that you would run over a main toon. Upper B. In case you're wondering, Game Rant had Brightney as S tier. They think Brightney is an S tier, and they also had Boxton as an A tier. They think Boxton is A tier. So, I don't know what you guys think about that, but I disagree. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm just showing you guys their tier list. It's so bad. Let's just bully them. Let's just bully the ever-living crap out of them, really. They have Shrimpo in B tier. And then they have freaking Pebble and Goob as C tier. In what universe do you have the best normal toon distractor and it's C tier, and then just the best distractor period and C tier? That's just whack. That's just so whack. I don't understand. Moving on from that, let's talk about Tegan. So Tegan overall is a decent distractor if you want her to be, with the ability to heal herself at any. So if you're more of a survivalist, or you just kind of want to live, or more of a selfish player, Tegan is actually really good in my opinion. And with the ability to heal yourself without having to rely on Danny, medkits, or a healer, I think Tegan's really, really good. You just slurp up tapes around the map. She's A tier. She's a super solid toon. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about Flutter is a toon that I've wanted to get my hands on for a fat minute, but I can't because she's rare. She's a rare twisted, so I barely get to see her. However, a distractor, if you want her to be who's just ridiculously good with the ability called Floaty Dash. This toon can dash forward, drastically increase your movement speed for 0.75 seconds. It has a cooldown of 45. So the ability itself isn't really that good. She's just good with her stamina and movements, but that does obviously make up for everything if you want her to be a distractor. With that being said, Flutter is going to go upper B, and you could make an argument for lower A, but I'm going to keep her an upper. Up next, we have my favorite toon, Razzle and Dazzle. Mechanically speaking, Razzle and Dazzle kind of suck, but their ability is really cool, which is why I like them. This toon switches between movement speed on odd number floors and extraction speed on even number. The only problem with Razzle and Dazzle is on those even number floors, he moves as slow, if not slower than Shrimpo, which really bad. Like, really, like, it gets you dead because you have, like, no stamina either. Even though I love him, most people hate him. They've talked about adding a buff to Razzle and Dazzle. I'm still waiting. Moving on from that, we have Shrimpo, just another D tier. Why wait? I mean, a lot of people will put Shrimpo S tier, but Shrimpo is literally just the worst character in the game. Shrimpo sucks. If you're new to the game, avoid Shrimpo like the bubonic plague. You don't want him. In case you're wondering, he actually literally has negative stats. I'm not kidding. Not only does he have 1 stars across the entire board, he has an ability called Bully, which his stealth is drastically lower than any other toon. Only play this toon if you're looking for a challenge. Like, just so you know, his stats literally go negative. If you look up his stats or pull it up while in game, it's literally negative. All my life, he's terrible. Moving on from that, I'm going to talk about Toodles, who's going to be another normal toon. Toodles is the gambler of Dandy's World, whose overall stats is decent and is good for starting characters in my opinion because of her stealth, and she just has a fun ability to get your feet wet in the game. She has one ability called Beginner's Luck, which makes sense because I would consider her more of a beginner toon, but this toon can roll for a 50% boost to a random stat that lasts for 10 seconds. So basically, you can boost one of these stats by 50% randomly every so often, which is a fun, quirky little ability that's fun to use. She's not bad, good for beginners. Overall, decent toon. It's C tier, but C tier over Boxed. Moving on from that, we are going to talk about our first main toon of the day. Probably should have brought this up earlier. We're going to talk about... And if you ever play to do a long run, this is who you're going to want on your team. You're going to want a Sprout. Sprout is a phenomenal distractor if you want her to be. Her movement speed's 4, her stamina is 5, 4,500 Iker, so think the most expensive character? No, Astro's the most expensive character. Tied for the second most expensive character, but has 2 ungodly abilities mixed in with really good stats. Her first ability is called Big Sweets, which is why everyone wants her. This toon can heal a targeted toon by 1 heart at the cost of 100 tapes. So basically, the better Tegan. As long as Sprout stays alive, you are going to be in good luck because Sprout's going to be able to heal you as long as she has tapes. If it's a race to get tapes between Tegan and Sprout, let Sprout get there first. But that is only one of the nice abilities of Sprout. The other ability is called Overprotective, which lets this toon see where all the other alive toons are along with their curve. So basically, you can know if someone's in danger. I really don't think anyone should be surprised by this placement. Sprout is just straight S tier. Moving on from that, we are going to talk about Glisten. Glisten is one of the newer toons added to the game who I have almost unlocked. I haven't because I mainly distract, for those of you that were wondering, but he's a very, very good extractor. If you want to just rush machines but you don't have any other toon, use Glisten. But his ability called Reflection, this toon can travel through a mirror, instantly teleporting to a target toon regardless of a line of sight. Basically, you can teleport to someone if you see him or if you don't. It's a good get out of jail free card, or mainly the reason why Glisten was made, in my opinion, is he's supposed to be the person that finishes machines. So he'll be the guy in the chat that says, get to elevator, and then basically just be able to free while everyone's able to get to the elevator. With all those things being said and set in place, I think Glisten is an A tier. That might get some controversy, but you know what? It's my list, so screw you. Moving on from that, I think we should talk about another main toon. I'm going to talk about Mr. Astro. The Astroman is the most expensive toon like we were talking about, so you already know he's going to come with very, very good ability. His first ability is going to be called Nap Time, where this toon can create a pulse that fully restores stamina of the toons around him. Debatably, best support ability in the entire game, besides for literally having the ability to heal. But if Astro's ever doing a machine and hovering around the distractor, just go ahead and pop Nap Time and give your distractor full stamina once again. He also has an ability called Well Rested, which this toon regenerates stamina 50% faster and can see toons that are below 50% stamina around the map. So if he sees your distractor is low, he'll go find them, give them their stamina back, and he'll go to work on a machine with his decent, pretty mid extraction speed. His main ability is that he just won't be seen, so he'll be able to run up to someone in need, someone in danger, go ahead and get him full stamina and dip out, which puts him in high A tier. Our first non-S tier main toon of the day. Moving on, she's been staring at me. Poppy. I have only not bought Poppy for the troll of it. However, she's the worser of the starter toons in my opinion. Her one ability is called, this toon receives a 50% speed boost for 3 seconds when attacked. So literally, ability, it only activates after you get hit, and you could still waste it. And there's trinkets that literally do the same thing but better. It's literally just the blushy bat. The blushy bats are literally just better. Basically, the twisted that hit you becomes ineffective for 3 seconds. The only time Poppy's ability is actually better is if you have multiple toons chasing, or multiple twisted chasing after you. And with Poppy's stats just already being mid across the board anyways, I think you know where this is going. Slightly better than Razzle. Moving on from that, let's talk about Pebble. Pebble is the main toon that I want to get more than anyone else, as he is a main toon with 5 movement speed and 4 stamina, which is just about the best stats you can get as a distractor in the game. But the main reason why he's so good is his active ability, Speed, where this toon can bark loudly, distract, drastically decreasing stealth and alerting any twisteds nearby to his location. Basically like the air horn. He basically has a built-in air horn ability. Furthermore, he also has the passive ability called Fetch, where this toon can sniff out items, causing them to be highlighted when in a toon's vicinity, which you might be like, oh, that's stupid, that sucks. No, it's actually really good, considering he is a main toon with only 2 hearts. The main strategy of Pebble and how you want to use Pebble is you almost always want to have either a medkit or band-aids in your inventory at all times, so you can immediately heal after you get hit once as your get out of jail free card. Because you get hit twice, you're donezo. And if you're going to be distracting at higher floors, you got to be able to heal yourself, or like you said, you're donezo. With that being said, best distractor in the game, immediately gets plopped in S tier. Coming up next, it's right down the line. We have Roger, who's going to be another normal toon. Roger is the best toon for first starting out in the game, literally in my opinion. He's just a good extractor who gives you double research for capsules and encountering twisting. If you just want research, let's say like for me, I wanted to get Flutter research. Oh, look, Flutter is the main twisted. I'm literally just going to play Roger. Roger gains twice the amount of research from capsules, and we already know this. He does decent distraction speed. He's just overall solid. Doesn't add super much to the team, but one of the better starting extractors. And because of that, he's either upper C, but in my opinion, I think he's just really, really, really low B. Coming up next at bat, we got Scrappy Rappy. The main reason why Scraps is good is because you need to master her, or you get 3 masteries before you can get to Goob. And she has the opposite ability of Goob, where she can pull herself towards another targeted toon. So basically the worst version of Glisten's ability. And she might have 5 stamina. It doesn't really help when she only has 2 movement speed. And she's also not really that good of an extractor anyways. This toon is basically just built to survive. With that being said, not really a toon you want to be on your team. He's a little bit worse than Toodles, but a little bit better than Boxton in the C tier. We've got 2 more main toons, so let's go ahead and put the next one up to bat. We have Shelly. Honestly, Shelly is the toon that I've probably played with the least, but Shelly is someone who's a pretty decent extractor, has a skill check of 5, and of course 2 abilities since she is a main toon. Her main ability, called Inspiration, can boost the extraction speed of selected toon by 75% for 15 seconds, which is the main reason she doesn't get utilized, because you don't really need people to finish machines that fast when you have things like V-Emote, and they have their own passive abilities. However, her second ability is called Problem Solver, where this toon gains a 25% movement speed when any machine is completed for 10 seconds, making her overall better, but not as good for the team, which is why she's a main toon that you don't get seen used very often. Typically, this main toon is unlocked last out of all the main toon. With that being said, I think she's a little bit worse. Coming up next, we got Finley. Although Finn does have my favorite skin in the entire game, the Prismatic Pale, he is a decent toon. Has a skill check of 4, movement speed of 3, stamina of 2, stealth of 3, and extraction speed of 3 with the ability called Reel In, where this toon gains a 33% movement speed boost when a machine is completed for 10 seconds. It's basically the exact opposite of what his Twisted version does, who gives you after you complete a machine. Reel In is sometimes good. The main reason it's good is because he has 2 stamina. In my opinion, Finn's just kind of a quirky fun toon who likes to make fish puns. He's not bad. He's not great. You're not going to really use him over other main extractors, and because of that, he's a little bit better than Roger. Here's the list so far. We got 4 toons left, and who are we gonna choose next? We're gonna do the next support toon. Cosmo will be the first toon that I have fully mastered. Cosmo has a horrendous skill check equal to that of Shrimpo, but makes her better everywhere else across the board with a movement speed of 3, stamina of 4, stealth of 4, extraction speed of 4, and she's your best friend in game because guess what? She can heal other toons by sacrificing her own. So when you see band-aids and medkits on the floor, you're gonna want to give them to Cosmo because you're probably gonna end up getting your back scratched by her. And with overall stats being pretty good and being able to help out the team in a pretty major way, Cosmo is gonna find herself a little bit above Tegan. And coming up next, we have Tisha. Tisha, our second to last normal toon of the day, has the ability called this toon can create a pulse that increases the movement speed of toons around her by 25% for 5, and she has a skill check of 4 and a movement speed of 4 with an extraction 2. So her skill check bubble is really good for a new player, especially because she has 4 movements, but overall, she's kind of okay. She's just okay. Fun to play, though. You never really get mad when you see a Tish on your team, but you never really get that excited either. Tisha's upper C tier. And we'll save V for last. Up next, we have Goob. We love getting Gooby. Gooby has 4 stamina for movement speed, who also has one of the best panic mode abilities called Hug. This toon can pull other torch forward into his position, which basically is good when the panic mode is on and people are running to the elevator and maybe the distractor is already in the elevator as well. And there's twists around. Goob will just pull you in, get you to safety and out of harm's way. And he might be the distractor. It might be the reason or might be the toon that needs to pull you in anyway. And because of this, I think he's the best normal toon distractor. He's not S. He's definitely pretty high up. I think he's a little bit better than. And coming in last but not least, we have V. Where are we gonna plunk V? V is the last main toon on the list who has the best distracting or extracting stats on the entire game, who has a skill check of 4 and extraction speed of 5. Whose first ability is called Mic Check, where this toon can highlight all twisted on the floor for 5 seconds, but has a cooldown of 60. So just, you know, overall friendly, helpful thing for, or a helpful ability for all toons on the floor, especially for playing with newer players. But her second ability, Camera Hijack, will have the nearest uncompleted machine highlighted for them. This toon, V is an absolute discipline machine. If you have a V on your team, congratulations. V has the best trinket in the game, in my opinion, where you can basically auto-complete any machine. V also just shreds machines. So if you have a Sprout and V on your team, mixed in with Pebble, guess what? You're good to go. V right there in the... So here is my official final list. Obviously, some people might change it around. Some people like it. Some people hate it. But this is what I think. I think more toons are A tier than they are bad. But I don't think anyone's going to really disagree with my D tier. The main places where it gets murky is C between S. I don't think many people are going to disagree with my S either, though. This is my opinions. This is what I think. But most importantly, make sure you guys unsubscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I'll play Danny's World tomorrow. Don't worry about it.